She was a young woman from Kingston, Jamaica, a city full of life, music, and strength, but also a city where survival often comes before dreams. Every morning, she took the same train, leaving her hometown behind, carrying hope quietly in her heart. One morning, while seated among strangers, she opened a local newspaper. Her attention stopped on a single story: Spanish women enjoying life at a beach resort, laughing freely, untouched by worry. She read every word slowly, intensely, and before she realized it, her imagination took over. In her mind, she wasn't on a crowded train anymore. She was there with them, free, confident, alive, so deeply lost in that fantasy. She didn't hear the train operator announce her stop. The train passed it. Only when the announcement echoed again did reality return. She panicked, asked another passenger where they were, and rushed off the train in a hurry. And then it happened. She collided with a man. Coffee spilled. Time seemed to pause. As she turned quickly to apologize, their eyes met. Standing before her was a handsome white man, calm, composed, almost unreal. He reached out, gently held her hand, and asked if she was okay. In that brief moment, something shifted. An instant connection, unexpected, unplanned. He introduced himself, but she was already late, already rushing. Still, she couldn't let the moment disappear. She pulled a pen from her backpack, wrote his number on the palm of her hand, and promised to call. They walked away, in opposite directions, both carrying the same feeling. That day at work was unforgiving. Her supervisor spoke harshly, humiliating her in front of others. She couldn't take it anymore. She walked away. Later, sitting alone on a bench near her workplace, trying to calm herself, her thoughts drifted back to the stranger from the train. She smiled without realizing it. Then her supervisor appeared again, shouting, handing her a letter, suspended for 2 weeks. She expected tears. Instead, she felt something else. Opportunity. She ran to a public telephone booth, looked at the numbers still written on her palm, and dialed. He answered almost immediately. He had been thinking about her too. They talked easily, naturally, as if the conversation had already begun earlier that day. That evening, they met for dinner. Then again, and again. A first kiss followed, soft, uncertain, electric. Eventually, he told her the truth. He was a businessman, married, a father of 2. He admitted the connection, but said his loyalty belonged to his wife and children. She listened, and yet, the story didn't end there. After their first intimate moment, left unseen, he changed his flight. He stayed 3 more days. 3 days that felt like borrowed time. Before leaving, he made her an offer, an invitation, to his hometown in Spain. And just like that, the life she once only read about in a newspaper was no longer just a fantasy. She left Jamaica behind and followed her dream all the way to Spain. A new country, a new apartment, a new life, one he helped her build. For the first time, she felt safe, loved, certain she had finally escaped the life she once feared. And he returned to see her again. To anyone watching, they looked like 2 people in love. But love built on secrecy always comes with rules. One afternoon, while he showered, she noticed his phone resting quietly beside the bed. She stared at it longer than she should have. She knew the rule: never go through his phone. She picked it up anyway. Her hands trembled as she scrolled. Then she found it. His wife's number. She copied it. In that moment, the first boundary was broken, and nothing ever truly stays the same after the first broken rule. Months passed. Then one morning, her world shifted again. She was pregnant. She told him over the phone. Silence. Then anger, a voice she had never heard before. Cold, sharp, final. He told her to end it. He had a wife. He had children, and there would never be another family. Then he told her not to call again. The line went dead. For hours, she sat alone, staring at nothing, until she remembered the number. She thought about it again and again, and then she dialed. Inside a quiet family home, the phone rang. A calm woman answered. Soft voice, controlled, unaware her life had just changed. Is this Julian's wife? Yes, who is this? A pause. I've been with your husband, and I'm pregnant. I'm keeping the baby. Silence. Then the calm voice returned, firmer now. She warned her not to call again, told her to speak to Julian, and ended the call. But the peace inside that home was already gone. Hours later, Julian walked through his front door. His wife was waiting. The question came immediately. Who is she? He denied everything, but she already knew enough. Her voice stayed low, almost gentle, yet filled with something far more dangerous than shouting. She warned him. Fix it. Then she walked away. Morning came. The house looked perfect. A loving home, a successful man, a devoted father. But inside the dining room, tension filled the air. She confronted him again, calm, precise, cutting deeper than anger. His affair had crossed into her home, into her life, into her control, and that she would not tolerate. Get rid of it. She left him standing alone. Julian understood exactly what she meant. He stood frozen beside the table, thoughts racing. How did she get the number? Then realization struck. She went through his phone. Anger rose inside him. But before it could escape, small footsteps ran toward him. His children. They hugged him, innocent, happy. He forced a smile. A father again. A normal man again. Yet behind his eyes, the truth moved quickly. This situation had to end. And it had to end. That night, the house looked peaceful. Julian sat beside his children's bed, reading them a bedtime story. His voice was gentle, warm, the voice of a devoted father. When the story ended, he kissed each of them on the forehead and turned toward the door. Then a soft voice stopped him. "Daddy, are you and Mom getting a divorce?" For a brief moment, time paused. Julian quickly reassured her. He loved their mother, and he wasn't going anywhere. He switched off the lights and closed the door. But the moment the door shut, his expression changed. His eyes widened. His calm disappeared. How could she call my wife? He whispered to himself. His thoughts hardened. Tonight, something had to end. He pulled out his phone and called his assistant. The instruction was short, clear, urgent. Meet him at 11. He hung up. Then he dialed another number. She answered immediately, her voice fragile, tired from hours of crying. She apologized for calling his wife, believing he would now come back to her, believing she still mattered. Julian listened quietly, but inside, anger grew. Instead, he spoke gently, almost lovingly. He told her he had a surprise. He would send a driver to pick her up. Hope returned instantly to her voice. She agreed without hesitation. As the call ended, he walked into the master bedroom. In the darkness, his wife spoke. She wasn't asleep. Her voice was calm, controlled. She reminded him the problem must be finished tonight. And if he failed, he shouldn't come home. Julian closed the door, checked his watch. 9 o'clock. He left the house. Across the city, she was getting ready, believing the night would fix everything. Meanwhile, Julian stepped into the darkness, driving toward a decision already made, and somewhere between hope and danger. The night had begun. That night, Julian finally arrived at her apartment. The moment she saw his car, she rushed outside and climbed in, expecting warmth, reassurance, maybe even forgiveness. But something was different. She leaned toward him for a kiss. He pulled away. "Just get in," he said calmly. "We need to talk." They drove off into the night, further and further, until the city disappeared behind them. Eventually, they stopped at a house she had never seen before. His assistant was already waiting. He opened the door and let them inside, then remained near the entrance, silent, watching. For the first time, she felt afraid. Julian removed his watch, then his shirt. He walked toward her slowly. "We had an agreement," he said. "Do you remember it?" Her voice trembled. "I'm sorry. I just wanted your attention." "Julian, please remember. I'm pregnant." His expression hardened. "That was your mistake," he replied coldly. "All we had was an affair. My wife and children are my life. You were supposed to stay away." His voice rose. "Why didn't you end it? And then you called her." She shook, tears falling. "We can fix this. Please, you're scaring me." What followed happened quickly and quietly. The struggle lasted only moments. Then the room fell still. Julian stood there, breathing heavily, staring at what he had done. Without emotion, he instructed his assistant to make sure there would be no trace. Then he left. He returned home. Upstairs, his wife sat waiting at the edge of the bed. She didn't raise her voice. "Is she gone?" "Yes," Julian answered. "I told you I would take care of it." A faint smile crossed her face. She spoke gently, almost casually. "These girls always want a husband, a future, a home. You and I both know that was never going to happen." She kissed his shoulder. "Go shower. I can still smell her perfume." Julian walked into the bathroom. Water ran, and for the first time, he cried. His tears disappeared beneath the water, but the weight did not. Just like that, she was gone. A life that began with a dream of escape, love, and a better world, ended in silence. What started as hope became secrecy. Secrecy became obsession. And one forbidden phone call became the moment her story ended.